Hey everybody, how's it going? I thought it would be nice to do a quick video on how I dismantle Leatherman tools. Now I do know that I owe everybody a video on the my custom Leatherman grip, which I've talked about in the past briefly, but I thought why not show how I take apart these tools and therefore how I get parts and am able to modify these kinds of tools. So that's what we're going to do today. Stay tuned for that other video. You can see here I have this nice huge oversized Bessie vise that I use, and that just gives me a nice clamping surface. It's got rubber pads on the tool, and taking apart a Leatherman Wave Plus today. So first thing I do is slap that into the holder. I got a couple of tools, got to grab across the room. Two of my standby tools here are this snap-on screwdriver I got secondhand with the TR10, the tamper-resistant Torx 10-bit. And then probably another tool I need to do a video on is my chopped down rebar, which has that Leatherman, or that bit extension with the T10 bit as well. And that's something I use to take these apart. So this one will hold that bit steady, and we'll crack loose the first screw. And these usually come apart pretty easy. I don't like to use heat or anything to deal with the Loctite. As long as you have good bits, good tools with good leverage, should be all right. I've also got a silicone baking mat that I'm going to throw down over here. A little cramped with the filming setup, but I'll throw that down over here so that I have a place to put my tools. And I can just finish that screw off by hand or with the rebar, the custom rebar. And I always like to pop out the file, make sure we get that. Whoops, we'll grab that. Make sure we keep the washer, and I sell these all together on my eBay as well as at multipartsstore.com. We will, so I keep the whole frame together with the appropriate screws. Sometimes you got to pinch the blade in, because that spring bar, now that it's got some wiggle room, is going to fight you. And I'll probably have to pull this behind camera to get it out, but I've got a brass punch here which fits and keeps you from marring anything inside the tool. Now I got that pivot out. We can pop the blade loose carefully, save that other washer. Pop that right there. Now we've got two sides to the tool, and I always go face up with this. Just kind of learned this out of habit. If I go face up so that the tool's open, I don't know if you can see it, but the tool's kind of open this way, right? If you go face up with that, and I'm right-handed, so I go face up there. With my left hand, I use my custom tool. Right hand goes the ratcheting screwdriver, and the left hand stays as still as I can, because I'll show you here in a second. If we can get that loose, comes out perfectly easily. That always means your screws on the right side and your pivots on the left. And that's the same for both sides of the tool, whether you have the file side frame or the saw side. So we'll put those screws down with the standard tool, or with the other pieces we pulled earlier. Pull off the little frame piece, and then we'll grab our bit here. This is going to be, oh, that popped out very quickly. Sometimes they get a little bit turned, the pivot, and I'll show you here if I can stop dropping stuff. The pivot has a small flat on it. I think you can see it. It's on my right, your right as well. In fact, it's actually on both sides. It's on right and left, you can see. Just a small flat. And that is designed to keep this from spinning, but if you apply enough torque, it will spin inside of the frame, and it'll sort of lock itself up. You can see very subtly there's also There's also some flats in the frame. Maybe if you can see that on both sides there's these flats. And those mesh with the flats in the pivot. So I will always put all of those together. I pulled out the combo tool and the bit driver. And there's always these really little washers, shims, almost shim washers maybe. I'm not sure what they're called, but they're in a lot of tools and they help with spacing, keeping tools from clumping too much. I actually don't sell these currently because I just don't see there being demand. We kind of have a minimum order of our cost of $10.99 with all of our shipping and everything like that, plus fees and all that worked in. So, but if you do want them, let me know. If you order something else, I'd be happy to throw a few in. We also have, I wonder if I have any in here, but there are some thicker washers that come in some of the tools, and I don't have any handy, but if you're ever interested, let me know. I would be happy to include those in your order. If you don't know what I'm talking about, because I probably haven't explained it thoroughly, I do have a multi-tool parts store on eBay as well as at multipartsstore.com. And there you can get tools, pieces, parts, components for all the different multi-tools that you might want. Currently we stock the standard Wave Plus parts, the the Wave Plus in black oxide parts, as well as the standard rebar parts, the current model with the removable jaws. And plan on adding more. We also carry a few tools. I think we lost our phosphor bronze washer there, but we carry a few tools for taking apart those models as well, and we're always looking to expand. So if you have any input, you have anything you'd love to see, anything you've been looking for, we can take a look and see if there's a way we can get it, because buying in bulk and buying multiple quantities and which is buying in bulk but buying in bulk and dismantling and selling parts individually, we tend to be able to make that happen a little bit easier than someone can do in their home shop, which is, to be expected. One of the reasons I started doing this was because I wanted my own custom multi-tools. And in the process of looking into that, I realized how exorbitantly expensive the hobby can be. So my goal is to bring these parts to you at as reasonable a price as I possibly can. It is still not cheap because Leathermans, as you know, have gone up in price. A lot of different tools have gone up in price. Not specifically Leathermans. And so it's hard to, do that as a hobby, but we try and make that a little bit easier, give you access to the tools, and we're hoping to share more and more of our techniques in doing so. I've actually haven't been able to make as many custom tools as I had planned because I've just been so very, very busy, but that's something that will come in time. And you can see by holding that screw in, oh, that just all dropped. We can get that out nice and easily. That's that. So I'm going to grab the camera here. You can see we've broken down quite a few parts. All of the parts. And just those 2 or 3, 4 tools, I guess, with the brass punch, the screwdriver, and you can just use another screwdriver for the other side. I like this one because I made it, and see if we can get it to focus. And it's got a lot of different functions. The flat. There's focusing. There's the flat small screwdriver with the file, which helps deburr when I'm doing custom stuff. I would obviously never use that on a tool that is being sold for parts. And then the large flathead, which a lot of tools and pivots and things like that have the large coin. They're made to accept a coin or a large flathead, and so got that on there. And then just the bit holder with a magnet to keep it retained, and gives you a nice little tool, and it'll locks at about 90 degrees. I actually missed I intended to do 90 degrees and it didn't quite get there. And then also it extends out and locks in that longer position, which I don't use a ton, but comes in handy. So there's my second tool, and then the vise. The vise, I highly recommend this vise. It sticks really well to surfaces like this, which is this is a stainless steel table. I had this vise before, which was just a cheapie off Amazon. I taped some padding to it, and it got me by, but it wasn't great. It slipped a lot and didn't give you. This gives you a lot more access to the tool as you're working on it. So then, yeah, all I would do with this is take these parts over to our storage bins, and as you can see, I've got Leatherman Wave in these 2 rows here, rebar parts here. This all needs to be labeled, but it's for the black oxide, excuse me, I'm messing with the settings. It's for the black oxide Leatherman Wave. We also have all of the bits available. Now, I do encourage you, if you're looking at bits, check out Leatherman's website. If you need a ton, you'd likely be able to get them cheaper there. But I know I've gone to look for, I want a 3/16 inch bit to keep in my EDC, and you're paying $20 or plus shipping for just that. You get a bunch of extra stuff you don't need, but here you're able to get bits one at a time, bit sleeves and things like that. And we do offer bulk discounts because once we that first order includes free shipping, and try and knock down the price as much as we can beyond that. So that's the basics. If you're interested, have any questions, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear what you look for when you're looking for multi-tool parts, and we'll be happy to try and find it. Thanks.